Anyways, I was looking for an excuse to do this, but you guys are really making me tired of everything,
Wait,
so I'm gonna need this.
I have 3 screwdrivers here? I thought I have only 2.
Alright, another podcast, another pint of, this time I'm having
Another
Brandweizen,
step closer to the grave.
and that too.
You'll be
So yeah,
Nobody's going to this time back at
ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another episode of Radio Rothingham, the least professional podcast on the internet.
We're doomed.
We got, well, we sure are. We got yours truly, the Artrix. We got Panboy.
I exist.
We got Xaverius.
I don't know anybody of that name.
How about John?
No.
Well, here we got John. We got Astra the Astra.
Artrix, no doesn't mean yes, you rapist.
I know. Sue me. And we got Sekele.
I have to counter-rape you. I have to rape you back.
No, you don't need to. And we got the one and only Der Bakphoon. Guten Tag, Herr Bakphoon.
That's terrible.
Cheers. So yeah, this time around, today, since I'm on this Overwatch kick, I'm on a quest to draw all the characters apparently. So here I am drawing Farah, or as he's commonly referred to as Rocket Lady. So yeah, that was the premise of the episode. So yeah, what are we going to discuss first? Because there are a few things that did happen. But since I'm the host, I'm going to decide what I'm going to decide to discuss first, which is I'm indecisive. I don't know. Except I am decisive, and I'm going to say that we're going to talk about PewDiePie and how he's a shitty content creator and. Even a shitty content creator.
He's a cancer creator.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure that he contributed to some amount of cancer in this world. But he also told the mainstream media to GTFO. Because...
Who doesn't?
Well, here's what happened. So, apparently, you know, there's been this rumor going around that's propagated by the mainstream media that PewDiePie is a Nazi.
Who isn't?
Because he did no, yeah. These days you can never tell anymore. Like
I bet he even drinks milk.
I'm pretty sure he does. I mean, I had oats with milk this morning. Like I took some oats, put some milk in it in the microwave. It was pretty tasty.
You were allowed to have some oats.
I was allowed to have some oats by our socialist overlords.
By your brother.
No, my brother wasn't anywhere near me. Anyway, so the Wall Street Journal, which is a site that actually charges you money in order to look at their website.
So, are you saying they're not a shitty tabloid, or are you saying they are a shitty tabloid that costs money?
Well, the latter, because you'd think that, they would at least have the incentive to produce quality content because they have no monetary incentive because the people that read their magazine actually pay for it. But no, they're just as shitty as, well, BuzzFeed, basically. They essentially, their articles like, look at PewDiePie, he's a Nazi, here's some video evidence to show that he's a Nazi, and it's all footage taken out of context. And it's even more ironic because it's footage from videos in which he ironically did the things that, people were unironically telling about. They were like, PewDiePie is a Nazi, and then PewDiePie made a video making fun of Nazis, and the mainstream media calling him a Nazi, and then the mainstream media used that to basically tell the world he's a Nazi unironically.
But there's something missing. That's what I think is missing. Like, I think it all started with the fact that he did a joke about Jews in some of his video, and then Disney dropped him from his channel, from their channels, basically.
Well, that happened in response. He got dropped because of the Wall Street Journal, pointing this out to Disney.
Yes. Because the Wall Street Journal was apparently salty that Pinkie Pie was... well, yeah. He is essentially Pinkie Pie, but human.
Freudian slip.
No, let's call him Pinkie Pie from now on. So he's Pinkie Pie now?
No.
Okay, PewDiePie.
Yes, yes. It's less annoying to the way.
So yeah, PewDiePie...
You just call him Felix.
That's even worse.
Who's
yeah,
Felix?
just call him PewDiePie.
The cat.
That's his IRL name. Oh,
I
the
don't,
floating hedge cat. It's
Panboy,
like
you
just...
don't know Felix, the black cat with the suitcase.
I do, I know that cat.
Yeah.
But PewDiePie doesn't have a real name. He only exists as the internet.
Hmm?
It's just like Hulk Hogan. I don't know Hulk Hogan's real name.
Probably Hulk.
It's not Hulk.
I'm pretty sure it's Hulk.
I think it starts with a T.
So yeah, what do you guys think about this whole mess? About...
Ridiculous. Disney have the right to drop them.
I think it's utterly absurd that Disney would hire PewDiePie to make these videos and give him a YouTube Red channel to continue to spew the kind of nonsense he's always spewed, and then get informed that he's continuing to spew the kind of nonsense he always spewed and use that as a reason to fire him. That's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard.
Well,
Ever
it's
since-
also a giant company.
Well, it's like ever since I first heard of PewDiePie, I heard he was famous for doing really retarded shit and screaming rape at barrels. So, you know, this
Yes.
news that he made a few Jew jokes isn't exactly out of character for him at all. I mean,
No, not at all, because the joke was that because it's such an unacceptable thing to make a bunch of people do, because essentially what they did was there's this site or this group of people that will basically do anything for a $5. Like you send them a $5 and they will do a little dance, or they'll put some text on the sign and they'll show it.
Mhm.
And his point was that, well, they will do anything for a $5, even hold up a sign that says, I don't even know what it says, something about that all Jews need to be exterminated or whatever.
all Jews must.
Yeah. So
They also said subscribe to Keemstar, which is, in my opinion, much worse.
I mean, I still don't really know who Keemstar is, and I don't really feel inclined to get to know him or be involved with whatever he does, because, well, why the fuck would I care about Keemstar? Apparently he's some huge he's like a drama troll guy that does drama videos and stirs up a lot of drama, because drama takes it, you know, creates all the clicks.
Pretty much, as far as I know, yeah.
Mhm.
All these YouTubers,
like-
they're all very good at their jobs of producing nothing but assloads of bullshit. And people enjoy it, so, you know, fair fucks to them. They got
they're-
well-paying jobs doing idiotic nonsense on the internet. Like, fuck. Good job.
Well, there of course there's differences. I know that Sargon makes a fair living off YouTube.
Many people do.
Many people do. I don't know the exact figures, but from what I gather, it's enough to rent or buy a decent house, raise his kid, and that's still. And an amazing atheist did concede that he did buy a fairly large house, has a nice car. These people are doing pretty well for
But
themselves.
do they have enough money to buy a car that serves as a house? Or the other way
Well-
around? A house that can move.
Well, they do, but they decided not to spend their money that way.
Zab, are you admitting to us that your ideal living arrangement is a caravan, and that's what you wish to live in?
My ideal living arrangement is a fortress-sized airplane.
Oh, yeah, I'd like that too.
But then you just have to become the president of the United States. So in other words, you just have to be born again, but American.
His
And
plane isn't big enough.
Air Force One is basically flying fortress as far as I know. Also, Air Force One is not one particular airplane. Just so you
It's
know.
not fortress enough. You would have to put all those planes together, at least.
I don't.
I think okay. So you're saying is that we need to take the 13 or so Air Force Ones.
Artrix,
Yeah.
are you familiar with the ship Yamato?
I don't think so. Well, what's so special about it?
Okay, it was the first and biggest and best Japanese warship of World War II, and there's also a anime version of it. That's a spaceship with a ridiculously huge giant space cannon, and that's about the type of ship I would like to live on. That's a good house for me.
Okay.
Do you know how much the crew would cost you? You'd be in debt for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but you know, seeing as you are in command of a large battleship like that, you can just take the wealth.
Yes.
You just go to Somalia, and just your presence there will get you that country. It's like, yeah, I'm here. Somalia isn't mine now. But then you also find yourself in a position where you have to think about some way to actually get some money out of it. Like, yeah, okay, I own Somalia now, but it's fucking Somalia.
Well, you
What
do
am I
realize
supposed-
that, Artrix, you're describing getting a job in a country in the world where most people make their income, through piracy.
Exactly. So,
So he wouldn't really. He'd be in a very competitive market.
well, yeah, but there's no competition because he has a fucking battleship.
Yes,
and Somalia.
I can just take a giant tow rope and put the country in tow, and then go to space and just throw the country at people I want to be pirated, and all the Somalians will do pirating for me.
It'd be like the beekeeper and his bees. I mean, the bees sting, the individual bees sting, and there's a lot of them. But the beekeeper's like a fucking suit and everything. He can just walk around and do whatever the fuck he wants. That would be the situation. So you have this huge ship, and all these little cute little pirate ships are swarming it, and trying to attack it. But it's so large and big and bulky. It's got so many weapons and personnel. Like it doesn't do anything.
Yes, exactly.
Like they use the AK-47 to shoot the side of the ship and just ricochets all over the place because it's so armored.
Yep. Yamato was a big build, right?
Mm.
I wouldn't mind living on a Yamato myself. Although I think I'd more go for a classic Zeppelin. I don't need anything as big as the Yamato. Just a nice crew cabin. Big old Zeppelin just floating around. It's like I don't like people. I just open the door on my Zeppelin and poop on their houses.
Remember the Hindenburg.
Yeah,
that was full of twice as much hydrogen.
Yeah.
Good. Very good.
And plop that fucker in wherever you want to cause some chaos, and then just have a really shitty paint job.
I'd be just like, oh, I don't like that person's house. I'll just go down the back of the Zeppelin, and I'll just accidentally push this hydrogen tank out. Oops. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, obviously nothing.
But
Well, the best way, the best situation I can imagine in this particular scenario is that if in this particular house there's a bobcat thing called Bubsy the Bobcat,
Jesus Christ.
and that's exactly what he says.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
That.
so you're saying that they put him on all the airships?
Yeah. Basically, just create an airship made entirely out of Bubsy the Bobcats. And yeah, what could possibly go wrong?
You're painting a pretty terrifying image right now, Artrix.
Also,
Why?
Zeppelins were not very good at flying in a particular direction.
Mm-hmm.
The British tried to fly one in a particular direction at high speed in a storm, and they all died in France. That's the worst way to die.
Well, yeah, they were in France, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can
they
reckon.
surrendered to the storm. They call it the French.
Well, they're never gonna live this down, aren't they?
You know, speaking of flying vehicles that don't go in the right direction that you're trying to send them in, we finally live in the age of flying cars. We do.
Oh,
It's true. It's happening
Since
right
like
now.
2000.
Since like last week, actually. They are trialing flying taxis, automated taxi drones in Dubai, of course,
Oh,
the
that's
richest
nice.
place on the planet. But it makes sense there because half the population aren't allowed to drive themselves anyway.
Yeah, well, look at it this way. People need water. Drones do not need water. What's not in Dubai? Water.
True facts. So yeah, they are starting to trial flying fully automated taxi cars. We're going to see a lot of answers to a lot of questions people have been telling us would be the end of the world about flying cars very soon, because all those.
okay. I think my internet just died.
From
because...
what I've been reading, these are pretty. Yeah, so they're actually really low capacity, honestly. So I see that being troublesome for the first run. So they're mostly probably just going to be delivering women around the place, because that's literally all they can do. You won't have much option to fill them with baggage. Like if you're going on a trip, you won't be able to put your spare slave lady in the back because it won't be able to lift them. But no, we're going to start seeing answers to questions like, so automated flying drones. How long before someone hacks all of them?
That would be a lot of work.
Sekele, have you met hackers? All they do is a lot of work. They don't care. And then they'll write a program that once it hacks one drone, it will just repeat the same hacking procedure on every other drone, and the whole network will be down in a matter of minutes.
Also, aren't these systems usually highly centralized since you need to coordinate a shit ton of drones? Or do they all operate independently?
I would imagine they'd have to have independent intelligence, otherwise, well, like if there's a lag spike or a disconnect from the network, they're just gonna, well, they would just stop working then. They'd have to land. Which is actually apparently something they do. I was looking it up. In case of an emergency, such as a disconnection from the network or their sensors going down, they will find the closest parking spot and just land.
That makes perfect sense.
They can only fly for about half an hour though, and they're battery powered, which seems like a really dumb idea to me. For a multitude of reasons. The first of which being batteries are heavy, and this is a short-range flying vehicle. Batteries take a ass load of time to recharge. So they were saying the drones are going to take about 2 hours to charge. So they fly for 20 minutes and have to charge for 2 hours, effectively meaning that they'll only be able to do about 8 trips a day. So you'll need a lot of drones. And why not just put in a little scooter engine with a tank of petrol? Like seriously, it'll give you the same energetic output, probably better torque actually, and weigh half as much as the sack of batteries. But I don't know. I'm no engineer.
Maybe it's easier to maintain a relatively large fleet of these battery-powered drones than to maintain a smaller fleet of petrol-powered drones. I don't know.
Yeah, the thing is, we kind of need a starting point for technology, and if Dubai decides to do this, of course it's not gonna be the best, but like, for example, if this goes into like mass production for Dubai, like maybe in 10 years we will have like way better technology for this.
Oh no, I don't disagree. It's a great idea, and it definitely needs to happen. And I don't know why it hasn't happened already in the last 15 years, because none of the technology in these drones are new.
Well, I guess the Dubai people were focusing on microchipping the women.
Probably. So are y'all looking forward to our drone overlords?
Fuck yeah. I mean, if I want to order, something from a store, I no longer have to wait for the next day. It will be delivered instantly.
Artrix,
Well, almost instantly. It's like,
why are you ordering people from the store?
because, I need some people for my slave labor. Otherwise, I can't run my business properly.
Oh god.
I mean,
I just had
I'm
a
still...
horrible thought.
Oh,
We are talking about Dubai, so I think Artrix's little fetish fancy that he's having right now might not be that far from the truth.
what are you talking about?
About mail order brides.
Drone delivered women straight to your door.
A question. Are those
Oh my God.
drones Muslim or Hindu?
Well, they're using batteries instead of an explosive fuel source, so Hindu.
Okay, then I welcome our overlords as well.
Ooh.
What if they're pestifarians?
God, what if that is actually the reason they chose to go batteries instead of petrol?
And what if they repurpose the Galaxy Note 7 batteries?
Well, if you have Galaxy 7 batteries in series and put them in the proper location, they wouldn't be, they would have batteries, but they wouldn't be powered by electricity, but just by a chain of explosions.
They won't be able to. The battery factory burned down. It did. Samsung's battery factory burned down last week.
Oh my god.
No, actually, from what I heard, it didn't. It was just like their storage where they put away their defective batteries, like their batteries that didn't pass quality checking, and only it burned there, and it didn't affect the production itself.
Oh, well, that's not nearly as
But-
funny back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Also, that still means that there was a fire in the factory that makes fucking
Fire.
Samsung batteries that explode.
Well, at least they were like in the thrown away pile, so that means, yeah, they at least threw away the defective ones. I mean, imagine if they were in the actual production line.
Nah, I wouldn't be
So
pleased
there's
with that.
that
It's details, but
Mm-hmm.
for you.
Yes.
For me.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
Panboy, didn't you have some other things you want to bring up?
Well, the
Because you...
PewDiePie was the other thing, but I did read the news today, and we're back to the whatchamacallit, status quo. ISIS, driving, into mosques and blowing themselves up, as you do. Pakistan.
Mhm.
Go to,
Why
Yeah.
would they do that? Why,
Well, that oh, go ahead.
why would they blow up their own churches?
Well, that's the thing about ISIS and
They are the
Islamic
wrong
terrorism in general. The most victims of terrorism of Islamic terrorism are usually other Muslims, because reasons. I mean, obviously,
Artrix, you gotta remember those are the wrong Muslims.
well, obviously, I mean they do Muslim wrong, I guess. So they need to be blown up.
it was a Sufi shrine. I'm not sure what particular branch of Islam that is, but yeah.
Pretty minor one, if I remember correctly.
You're saying that there's more than just Sunni and Sunni. I don't know that there's
Yeah,
two.
I think I heard about these Sufis or Sufis or how you call it, and they were a pretty old and at the moment very minor branch of Islam. I'm actually pretty surprised that they still exist because I only ever knew of
Uh,
the history.
it's the type of Islam that's not focused to the outside world. It's more about meditation and thinking about the good stuff things. So yeah, it's wonder it still exists.
No, but
Are you saying that there's Islams that just keeps to themselves and just do their thing and leave everyone alone?
Well, barely.
they were doing that, but then ISIS weren't happy with people staying to themselves and just having a peaceful existence, because you can't do that, not in ISIS land.
You mean you open up the ISIS constitution and one of the first rules is you have to shove your religion in everyone's faces, even if it means getting a trunk and just running into everyone.
I think that might literally be a precept of the type of Islam that ISIS practices. Yes.
No. Don't
You open
don't
up-
talk
you
about
op-
them like if they are some barbarians. I have seen their textbooks. They are full of color. And there's I saw a math book. There's a AK-47 made of numbers on the cover.
Oh yeah, you did post it in chat recently.
It's
But they're also teaching them how to English, so I guess they have that going for them, I guess.
Are you actually being serious? The ISIS Matt's book has.
Yes.
God. Who designed it? Like
ISIS
what?
people.
Maybe it was just a giant troll, like someone who found himself in ISIS territory, and all these ISIS people were walking around, and he was like, well, I'm probably gonna die anyway, so you know what? I'm just gonna go and design this book cover for the lols. I mean, if I'm gonna die, at least I should do it, make it a bit funny. So I designed a book with an AK-47, but with numbers. but then the ISIS people liked it unironically.
I also saw the
Yeah.
inside of it. There's numbers and small little silhouettes of guns everywhere.
This can't be real. I do not. I would need a citation on this. I will not believe this at face value.
Citation needed.
Stab straight. But guys, you can't just leave everything you read on the internet. You have to take it from a reliable source, like me.
Ah,
That's right. Panboy is more reliable than the Wall Street Journal.
I'm more reliable than the Wall Street Journal, though.
Oh, that reminds me, actually, when I was reading on the drone website, or on the news article about the Dubai drones, they had a little questionnaire at the end of it, and they were like, "Did you know that today drones are used to bomb the shit out of people and have been since like 2010?" I was like, "No, that's wrong. We've been using drones to bomb the shit out of people since the beginning of World War II. Why are you giving me this false information?"
Wait, we were using drones since the beginning of World War II?
Yes, they were basically just little radio-controlled cars packed with dynamite that you drove down the street under a tank. But it's
Yeah, that's technically a drone.
it is. It really is. But it annoys me when news articles give me that kind of question, because they were trying to test me somehow, and by answering the question correctly, I answered it wrong because they didn't have their information right. Because I know
Well,
things they don't know, evidently.
Well, you know what you must do then. You must set them on fire.
I must.
Do-
I can't remember
do
what
it.
news site I actually read about the drones on.
Oh well.
the internet.
It was on the internet. But I'm sure with my very good citation about the Dubai drones, you can all find it very easily. So I'm actually going to look up a news article that I can actually reference. Because citation needed.
Citation needed.
Yeah.
Speaking of
My-
citation needed, the CNN recently lost a court trial with the hospital that sued them for false reporting. In other words, for being false news.
Oh yes.
Fake news.
Yes, Artrix.
Fake news.
Please take your meds.
Fake news.
CNN was giving out false statistics on the hospital's death rates, claiming them to be 3 times the national average, which really wasn't the fact.
That's just shitty.
I have no idea why they did it, but apparently, at least the site I got it from, it's called Law News. I have no idea how reliable those guys are. I'm gonna post an archived link into the chat, both the public and the Radio Rothingham chat and the stream chat.
Too many chats.
Yeah, also put on the RSS feed and on our mailing list.
So yeah, it seems that CNN really is fake news, at least in this case.
Or at least grossly exaggerated news.
Well, that's basically fake news.
A source for the flying drones, Fortune.com, is talking about them on an article called Dubai Travel Drones Air Taxi EHang 184.
That sure sounds like a thing that exists.
It does. But you have to source things properly, or people can't find them.
Mm-hmm. So,
Did Sekele have anything more to say on the CNN
No,
news?
no, I just pointed it out. Whether in case anyone needed a subject in addition.
I only can report about a small mishap at some tennis tournament in Hawaii earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
How?
I think
Why?
during I think after the quarterfinals, or was it the half finals? There was a German contestant, and they played. Of course, they played the anthems of each nation that was participating, or in this match at least. And it was also sung and in the native language, and they happened to sing their German national anthem with the first verse.
isn't that Deutschland über alles?
Exactly.
Well, Deutschland is über alles.
Yeah,
What
but
are you
that's not
talking
the
about?
national anthem, because we have like three verses, and we only sing the third as national anthem, because the first two ones are.
Back. I know how to solve this
The
problem. It's
first
very
two
easy.
ones
And of
are
course, like the
nationalistic.
tennis player was so shook by it and traumatized that she couldn't concentrate during the match, and that's why she lost.
Oh God!
Can you imagine the world where a national anthem is nationalistic? My God.
I really have to ask the question here. If Germany can't stand their own national anthem because they think it's too nationalistic,
I'm pretty
I
sure
guess.
it's not exactly chosen by Germany, but mostly chosen by, other countries that kind of
But they
declared,
did it
yeah,
on
this isn't
purpose.
exactly nice.
No,
Many of the things
Look.
that Germans are doing in this regard were kind of like chosen and forced upon them after losing that Second World War.
Look. What you do is it's very simple. How about you just switch to the East German national anthem and call it a day, right? It's a very catchy theme song. I'm sure the people that would be most upset by this would be pacified. It's like, oh my God, it's a song from a socialist country, so.
But no, it's daft that your country would continue to have an anthem it finds offensive as its anthem. That's retarded.
Yeah, but that's not
It
its
is.
anthem.
Oh, then what is the anthem?
The anthem is just the third verse. It's like from a longer song, but only the third verse of it is actually the song, like the actual anthem.
Basically, what happened is that they sung an old version of the anthem that did include the phrase Germany overall, and apparently that's very
Germany
offensive.
best waifu.
Well, Germany is the best waifu, obviously.
No pride whatsoever.
Yeah, but you
Well,
know, it's
that-
kinda. I mean, it's not my decision to make, and it's kinda just like how things
It-
are.
it
Like,
kinda
imagine
is.
if someone were playing the wrong national anthem, like for example, if the Netherlands were playing and they were playing the wrong anthem for the Netherlands.
You know, I would actually like if somebody played the wrong anthem for us, because our anthem basically boils down to, oh my god, there's a tree, and there's a piece of land there. Where the fuck do I live?
Yeah, I think it's very akin to the
And
the,
also,
the
but also what I very often see, because you were like Deutschland über alles, you are like Deutschland is above everything else, and this is a very common misconception about the song actually, because also in the context that the song was actually created, it was like that Germany is above it was about Vantiga, unified Germany, because back then it was like a lot of small you know, how do you say, like you had just their lords and everything, and they were like a lot of small countries basically. It was
Yeah,
Germany,
so-
they wanted all a unified Germany, and basically the song was just for a big unified Germany. Of course, because of translations and not everyone getting the context, everyone's thinking, oh, it's about Germany being better than anyone else, but it's actually about that people actually want a unified Germany.
Yeah, but back here's the thing: the people, the kind of people that usually complain about this sort of thing usually are not very good at grasping context. They see a phrase and they immediately go to, well, it must be racism or sexism or any other ism. It's like, oh my god, this song has, it's nationalistic, so it must be right-wing, alt-right conspiracy, Pepe the Frog shit.
So are you saying that people like to take things out of context? Like, let's say if someone made a YouTube video where they dressed up as a Nazi in response to a bunch of people calling him a Nazi, and then they would take that video completely out of context and present it to the media saying, hey, look at this guy, he's a Nazi.
Exactly.
Well, to be fair, imagine if someone was making rapist jokes about a YouTuber, and this YouTuber kinda made, of course, a set-up stage where he was raping someone, also as a joke.
Oh no.
What if we actually raped somebody?
Should
Right.
actually just rape people.
Yes.
You get
Yeah,
punished
but
less
it's
for doing
kinda, there are just some things that just aren't made for general.
You know,
Kinda.
these people shouldn't ever get their hands on the Slovakian national anthem, because it basically boils down to the Slovakia is rising.
Back, I think you probably don't really get free speech then, because everything has to be on the table. If you can't joke about rape and if you can't joke about Nazis, then you can't joke about anything, because everything is offensive to somebody.
Yes,
That's
nothing should be
based.
censored.
I am surprised you did not mention the part of the Slovakian anthem that says that we have to stop everyone else who isn't.
Oh yes, obviously. It's there's a part of the song at the very beginning where it says that there are thunderstorms. It's implied that they are posing a danger to Slovakia, and basically the Slovakia reaction is, we need to stop them,
Oh,
and they'll disappear, and we will live again.
The best part is there is actually a second half that is usually not sung, well, almost never sung, and that part essentially says that Slovaks should take out their sabers and stand in a line prepared to strike.
That's true.
Yeah, and that's kinda the same with the German national anthem, like the first two verses are basically kinda like this.
I have no idea what the Irish national anthem means. It's in Irish, and that's a dead language.
Yes. And the Dutch anthem is all about the first king basically singing about how he's German.
Okay, that's on par with ours, which is basically just saying how nice nature is over here. So stupid.
That sounds very much like the Danish national anthem, which is also about the birds and the bees and the trees and the whatnot. It's like, do you see the trees? I guess.
Apparently
Trees.
the Irish national anthem is from 1907. It's maybe even in
1907. Oh, that means it even predates, Ireland actually being its own country.
Wow,
It's in Irish.
it's in Irish, but it's also in English.
Well,
And from the English transcript, I think it's about soldiers that are proud to fall for Ireland.
Sounds about right.
but wasn't. When did the Irish actually start fighting for the independence? Wasn't that in the early 1900s?
1916. It was the official
Yeah,
revolutionary.
They kept getting conquered all the time by everybody.
That we had celebrations last year about the centennial celebration. I didn't go to any of them because I don't like being outside.
Artrix, you got the Romans invading England, and then the native England people went to Scotland and to Ireland and subdued the native population there. And then you had the Normans coming into England and subduing the Romanized population, which went into Scotland and Ireland. And did the same thing again.
It was one big clusterfuck over there.
Yeah,
So
England, Ireland, Wales, France.
Wales.
They've all been at war for hundreds of years. It's not like everyone getting murdered by everyone else is a new thing.
Nope. I mean, like I said before, the Dutch had a nice little war with the English, and before that we had a nice little war with the Spanish, and
much like the Irish, when the Dutch had some free time, they built walls. Except, Irish and Welsh and Scottish people did it to ward off the English, and you did it to ward off the sea.
No, that's not the only wall we built. We also built a wall to keep out the Belgians. I'm not fucking kidding. During World War one of the few things we actually did was just build a giant electrified fence along the Dutch-Belgian border. It worked very well. A couple of hundred people died a horrifying electrocuted death. Like, oh, I'm going to flee to Netherlands. Nope, here's a few thousand volts through your body.
That's horrible, Artrix. You should just take in all the refugees you can all the time forever. It couldn't possibly have any negative effect on your country.
Talking about negative effects on your country, I had some...
To be fair, I think it was actually the Germans that installed
Well, yeah, they had to prevent those Belgians giving you their rifles. And I had a few fresh news from Slovakia, since we talked about that. The first one was that there was a gang that was selling Slovakian women to Pakis so they can move to England by marrying those women. Because so Slovakia is in EU. By marrying them, the Pakis would get EU citizenship, and then they would fuck off to Britain. And the second news is there was a lady who stood in front of Slovakian flag. Then she pissed on Quran and set it on fire, which means she didn't piss it well enough. But whatever. She's now facing charges for defamation of religion, race, and all the stuff, and she could go to prison for 3 to 6 years.
And that was in Slovakia.
It was in Slovakia.
That actually kind of surprised me because most of the time they don't enforce it this much.
Wait,
yes?
You have blasphemy laws in Slovakia?
Oh, that's the thing. We don't.
Oh.
But it works like that. Also, it was probably because she said that, she addressed the Islamists and she was like, they're parasites to me. We should fight them. Everyone who can, fight them. And then they could be like, okay, she's an extremist, cuff her.
That's the thing. We do have laws about saying that someone should be, some group should be exterminated. And I think that they are using this law.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I can see how they could apply that. That is like basically the point of hate speech laws. It's like, don't call for the mass extermination of the Jews. Like, that is bad.
Yeah, until now, it was usually only applied when in combination with Jews or with Gypsies,
Oh, yeah,
or
well,
with Hungarians.
the official charges are, among others, defamation of nation, race, I don't know how, and belief, I guess, or conviction, and inciting national, race, and ethnic hatred. Yes, that's the charge they got her on. Also, ironically, one of the TVs that reported on it said that in the age of terrorism, this provocation can gravely endanger the entire Slovakia.
If we
Like,
The
oh my
entire
god, these
Slovakia.
women saying that Islamists are dangerous could cause put us in danger from the side of Islamists. Wait a moment.
we don't have any.
No,
To be fair, it might make terrorists realize that a country like Slovakia actually exists. That's why it's dangerous. Before then, they didn't even know that such a country even existed.
Oh yeah, they don't go there because right now it's one of those places where they could get shot at the
it's true.
border.
It's kind
Yeah,
of
we
like
don't let them in.
it's kind of like you're drawing attention to yourselves. It's like, we think Islam is bad, therefore Islam's attack you because you said bad things about them. Just proving your point. But
You can say that out loud.
oh god, I just read another silly news. That's silly, but not really silly at the same time, and kind of apparently somebody killed the brother of Kim Jong Un.
Oh yes, that's true.
Oh yeah, that was also a thing that
He
happened.
looks like a solid pimp. I don't know why would anybody do that.
I'm just thinking, maybe this was a botched assassination attempt. She was like, I'm going to go kill Kim Jong Un, and then she got there. It's like, this guy looks Asian. Let's kill him.
Well, he was one sexy motherfucker, so I can blame them for mistaking him for dear leader.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was basically just like, oh, I'm going to kill your brother to point out to you that you are not safe. Somebody's going to get you eventually.
Mm.
Good to know.
America Wendover Productions taught me that America spends like $35 million a year just on transporting the president, like keeping him safe.
After JFK,
So
I'm
yeah.
not surprised.
Oh, it's true.
So
Obama visited my country once, and the Garda station he happened to be operating out of was right across the road from my college. And we all stood there and laughed as the presidential limousine got stuck on the road because it didn't fit.
Because you don't have complete left roads.
Exactly. It was great. It was like, oh, they're not getting that out of the Garda station. It was pretty hilarious to watch, honestly.
mm,
But yeah, that limo was a tank. But
Yep.
it was. You could see it could hardly move under its own power.
it's a pretty it's basically tank on wheels that looks like a normal car, but it really isn't.
That was years ago.
I don't even know what sort of systems are in there.
All of them.
It's got like electronics jamming devices and the rocket launchers and anti-poison devices and
I think it's mostly
in every
just
window
lots of armor.
and metric shit ton of armor. Yes, I think the only window that can actually be opened is the driver's window because tolls. So at least they're not kind enough to drive to a toll booth and pay some
That's
toll.
a big spot.
It's like here is the president's car. The president needs to be in this place, but here's $1.50 for toll.
Yeah, good. I paid it all.
Yeah, just imagine, that I'm sure these things cannot be arranged in advance.
No.
I'm sure that a toll company cannot, open up a bank account, can transfer 150 for the presidential. Well, it would be slightly more than 150. I mean, it's like 30 cars, so make that 5 tenors. So like, here's 5 tenors. Just let these guys through. Blocks.
Well, they could just drive through the barricade, honestly.
And that too, especially with the presidential car, that fucker can go through anything. I reckon.
Even people, especially people.
Especially people. I think it's specifically designed to go through people. And then you'll be rich.
Of course.
Of course.
I'm just
So,
apparently, the Kim who got murdered, the Korean intelligence operator tried to stop the local authorities from doing an autopsy for some reason.
Maybe it is the real Kim. Maybe we're just disguising it as a botched assassination, but maybe they actually got him. But now they have to keep it under the rug. Just think of the chaos that would ensue if people start to realize that their leader is no longer there or leader or alive.
Yeah, leaders.
I mean, their leader couldn't be dead. Who would be their leader? Right? Right? Also, I'm starting to turn into Cenk, what's his face from the Young Turks.
Buffalo.
The Buffalo, yeah. Right?
Sure.
Right?
Sure, why not?
Yes.
Astra, I need you to be like the chick from that show who's also always like, I don't know even though. Oh yeah, I'm better than you and fuck you.
I'm pretty sure if you need to insist that you're right at the end of every statement, it just adds more doubt to whether you can be trusted or not. As far as I'm concerned.
Nonsense. I can say right every 2 seconds and still be very credible. Watch me, right?
No. I'm pretty sure you're full of shit right now.
No, I'm not full of shit, right?
No, you are.
No, right?
Left.
That's a joke. Anyway, I think Beck had a topic, so.
It was my topic.
No, you had another topic.
Wait.
No.
Well,
Okay, Beck, do I have to do it for you?
Yes.
Fine.
Yeah, I will. So Beck was going to say that Ryzen is on the horizon.
I like raisins.
That too. Because it is coming out on March 3rd, in the year of the Lord 2017. So that was actually new to me. I did hear that they were going to release it in 2017, in Q1 2017, but apparently it is coming out in roughly 2 weeks. Incidentally, the same date as the Nintendo Switch, which is still incredibly underwhelming, and I'm not going to buy it at day one. Or any day for the matter.
Day 700.
Artrix, it's a handheld, full-powered PC. Wait, go on about the Ryzen.
Yes. So, well, I'm excited because I've always been a user of, well, not always, but in my last few builds have been
One time.
AMD.
Both AMD.
No, not one time. My last 4 or so rigs were AMD, so it's not exactly like I'm new to AMD.
Right. You bought...
But yes, the last 7 or so years have been very underwhelming when it comes to AMD and the entire processor market, because it's all been the same basic architecture in AMD's was really bad.
Yeah, that's
as a matter of fact,
why have your last 4 PCs been AMD?
Well,
because that's when they were still making decent chips, and
exactly.
I think I actually got one of the decent.
Was Phenom. That was before Bulldozer.
Yeah.
So I basically skipped an entire phase, and I got Yes.
My
So yeah, if they actually live up to the promises, I'll let you speak in a bit. If they live up to the promises, Ryzen could be a very interesting thing in the CPU market. But they have to, you know, deliver the goods, and that is to be seen. Go ahead, Beck.
Actually, my last desktop PC also had our AMD CPU in it. It was, I think, the first 6-core CPU from them. Also, I think it was also a Phantom, but it was definitely not a Bulldozer, but it was also a Phantom, a 6-core CPU. So yeah, I was also on the AMD side of things with a, what was it? ATI Radeon 47080 or something like this. 48070, like pretty decent card actually. But yeah, from what I have seen, Intel has actually kind of responded to Ryzen by announcing 2 more CPUs, like kind of better clocked
We need
i5s.
more CPUs.
Well, yeah, they're actually gonna get competition if they deliver on the promises. Because here's what's gonna happen. So you got Intel just sitting there, just being Intel, like, yeah, we're Intel, we rule the place, and oh, you want a CPU? You want to build yourself a computer? You're like, yeah. Well, mate, and you're like, yeah, and they're like, well, let's see. Well, that's gonna be 700 euros. I'm like, I don't want to spend 700. Well. Tough luck. No CPU for you. Okay. Well, here's 700. Just give me a CPU. But now,
the thing about Intel is they didn't really answer to Ryzen by making their i5 5% better. It's just a byproduct of the change in the development cycle.
yeah,
Because now the chips are too small to make any reasonable advances in a short amount of time. So they are just, you know, okay, we can tweak this and that, but effectively the chips are basically the same. This new generation is not a real generation, really.
Yeah.
It's a slight optimization.
Yeah, so
the biggest
Ryzen has the potential to really, because from what I gather, it's going to be a complete overhaul of just about anything. Yeah. It's going to be something completely different, and
might not even
so
be
it's
bad.
not just. Yes, exactly. It might not even be bad. So
well, it's not Bulldozer, which makes it kind of good.
That's already
automatically better.
But there are apparently some leaked benchmarks, of course, of low clocked engineering samples, and people kind of are speculating that they will be clocked faster, and they kind of try to kind of crunch the numbers and everything. And if the leaked prices that the retailers have are correct, then yeah, Intel has to do something about it.
Yeah, because if AMD can offer a consumer a CPU with similar or even better performance than a more expensive Intel counterpart, then then someone might consider, you know what, I can spend 1,000 quid on a Intel CPU, but this $500 euro whatever.
I think it's like $350.
Well, they were able to do it with graphics cards. They provided an okay graphics card for an okay price.
AMD,
They're definitely going.
They might actually be climbing out of the hole they dug themselves into with the bulldozers.
Yeah.
The bulldozer was just really bad design, from what I gather.
Yes.
It was kind of speculating on something that software developers didn't pull through, I think.
It had many CPUs cores in the CPU, but it was made in a weird way that was supposed to support parallel computing, but in effect it just meant that each 2 of those cores are basically 1 core. It was not a good design.
Yeah. Nope. So yeah, the past few years have been completely dominated by Intel when it comes to CPUs, but
if you are looking at the desktop market, then yes. Of course, with phones and everything and mobile devices, Intel has actually competition.
Yeah, the Atoms, isn't it?
Yeah, the Atoms have like competition by the Qualcomms.
Yes.
The ARM processors, yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
But isn't that completely different from x64 based, x86
From what
based
I can
systems.
recall, I think those mobile processors are slowly gaining more and more instruction sets that are getting closer to the x86 instruction set.
Hmm.
That's not too hard. There's only 80 of them. I mean, you know, just actually having the instructions isn't hard.
I mean, recently, like there are phones that support more than 4 gigabytes of RAM.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Because
What's this world coming to?
we need 8 gigabytes of RAM on our phones. All those tabs you have open in your phone browser. When would you ever do that? Why do I need 8 gigabytes of RAM on my phone? My phone doesn't even have an 8
Because
gigabyte memory.
For the
Because
same
phones
reason
are-
why you need 8 gigabytes of RAM on the PC.
I don't
Right now it
most
might
of
be
the time.
kind of pointless, but like, you know, I might have said phone, but you know, like the tablets are also running like basically phone technology, and they might profit from more RAM, like those bigger tablets, especially if you have something like the Galaxy Note tablet.
Well, now you're making a valid point. Because, you know, all a phone has to do is make phone calls.
Yeah,
But yeah,
because
phones are increasingly becoming are well, for some people phones are their only means of accessing the internet. It's their entire way of getting on the web and doing things.
That may be true, but the only things that you would actually go anywhere near that kind of RAM usage on the internet for a phone is a YouTube video. And that's only if your phone is actually trying to cache the entire video. And even at that, you don't actually need RAM to do that because
yeah,
you're not.
but the thing is, I am pretty sure they are kind of trying to kind of get into that, at least right now, low end kind of productive market, where you have kind of small tests, but you want to be kind of productive, because right now it's basically just consumer devices, and they're kind of just at the mercy of the consumers, and that market is eventually drying up because like the sales are actually getting slower, so they kind of need new markets.
Well, the thing is,
Yeah.
Like you have those Chromebooks and everything, but their users are limited. Yeah, especially, and you heard Xaverius' reaction.
the thing about the phones is the reason the phone market is slowing down is because people have phones that are good enough to do everything they need at this point. There's not really much room. There's not really much necessity for upgrading a phone, is what I should say, because, well, if you have a phone with a 3D GPU and 2 gigabytes of memory, it can do basically anything you would ever need that phone to do. And I find it very difficult to imagine a modern phone you needing anything more powerful than the modern smartphones. Like they can all process 3D graphics now. They're as powerful as a PlayStation 2 or maybe even a 3. I mean, you
I like
have
trees.
you have a console in your pocket already.
Yeah, but I would actually, but in this regard, I would actually watch the Nintendo Switch very closely, but because depending on the success, you might see the rise of docking stations again.
No, I
If
doubt
the
it.
Switch is successful.
It's not going to be.
Well, the rise of docking station, that's basically Switch, isn't it?
It basically can't compete with the mobile phone because everyone already has one.
Gasp! I don't.
The gasp.
Okay, almost everyone who isn't Zab have one. Even I have a fucking smartphone
Well,
that I
I
can play
was,
games on.
looking at our version of Craigslist to get one. Right now, it's tied between LG G3 and Samsung Galaxy S5 and OnePlus One. The fun thing is, they have the exact same processor and graphics card, and
Yep.
most of them have the same RAM too.
I will point something out. Actually, phone developer people who develop for phones, just go out there. They pick the most popular processor, most popular graphics card, and they make their phone apps run on that.
Yeah,
So,
and
because
basically,
it's hard.
the different part of it is the display and the fact that it doesn't have a removable battery, which means I probably go into the LG. I mean, it's huge. It's basically a small tablet, but it has a removable battery.
But back what you were saying about the tablet OS is running on more RAM. It's like if you are to want to run a full-featured tablet operating system on a computer, basically what you're actually wanting then is more like a Surface or something that actually runs a full OS. I mean,
A Windows Phone.
I mean, it's a terrible idea, but still, if you're needing to do that, if you're needing to run a full computer system on your tablet, there is an option there.
There's a way.
And the current tablets aren't really designed for that.
Yeah, the current tablets, that's the issue. You kind of need to look into the future because if you implement all the instructions and technology now, you're kind of like the groundwork for the future because you don't need to think about it later. Then you can.
Yeah, but it's
Yes,
because people aren't looking for those kind of tablets. The market has spoken. The market says people want tablets that run shitty phone apps.
I don't get people who are using tablets instead of phones. Like the main advantage of a phone that you can carry it with you in a pocket is lost.
Mm-hmm.
But it has a tiny
Yeah, because a phone is always with you, quite literally. Like the majority of people that have a smartphone, that fucker is never more than 5 meters away from them, which is also a fucking goldmine for things like, well, any kind of business that depends on data collection.
Yep.
So,
And other than that, we still have laptops.
Yeah, but they are
Yes.
not as portable as actual tablets because they are still more portable.
well, that's the only real advantage of a of a tablet opposed to a laptop is, well, they're more portable.
But that's one thing that they've noticed in the consumer trends over the last couple of years. Tablet sales have been going down, and laptop sales have started rising again because people have all got their tablets, tried them out, realized that no, this isn't good enough, and they've gone back to laptops. Because
Yeah, but mostly because the tablet didn't give them like the uses they were kind of hoping from them
Didn't
because they are
satisfy them.
mostly just consuming devices instead. Like something like, for example, the Galaxy Note tablet at least had some drawing programs and you could kind of do some productive
yeah,
things with it.
that's a really niche
But-
thing, though. What people
Exactly,
really wanted was things like Microsoft Excel.
Don't be silly.
No, it is. They wanted the Office suite, and it doesn't run on most of the tablets. So they would get their tablet, like, I'll be able to do all my office work on the bus. Then they'd open up their tablet. I was like, I have to run this
All I
really
can
shitty
do-
Android version of Microsoft Lotus Notes. Oh god, all the buttons are in the wrong place, and the on-screen keyboard is awful. Why am I doing this? And
Well, I better get a third-party keyboard.
Well, to be
which
fair, this is kind of about the implementation. I mean, if a developer really sat down and actually did something, because there were actually some kind of knockoff apps that kind of looked like Office, because like the Galaxy Note actually got like this, it's called Hancom Office or something, that actually supports all the formats that Office can do.
no, the app support wasn't the problem. The interface was the problem.
Yeah, exactly. But I think Microsoft is interested in doing a good Office for a competing product when they can basically say, look, we have the Surface. This is a tablet with a Windows.
Yeah, it solves all the problems. It does. It gives you the touchscreen interface and the option of a real keyboard. And the real keyboard, that's the difference. It's it being a laptop actually. That's the difference. That makes it a superior machine. Just having a decent keyboard you can plug in and it works properly.
Yeah, but the difference is like, for example, if you wanted a laptop that is similarly portable to that tablet that you got, because like a tablet is maybe like 200 euro to 400 euro for a better tablet. Meanwhile, like surfaces that you kind of want to use start at like maybe 600 euro if you are looking around.
Yeah, they do.
And that's kind of the price difference, and that's why people kind of wanted the tablets to do the things.
That's why people don't really buy either.
Yeah.
Because the cheap tablets aren't good enough to do the job, The Surface is a decent tablet, but it's not as good as a laptop, so they don't buy that either because it's too expensive. So people default back to the most common sense option: just buy a decently spec laptop.
But there is a small market for like surfaces or surface-like devices, and they are called artists who actually want to draw on the screen.
Oh no.
Which is most convenient for them actually.
I understand. In fact, that is why I bought a Surface. But even I will acknowledge that I would be much better off with a Cintiq. That is just stationary and I leave it flat somewhere and has all the full features of a Wacom.
That's the keyword. That's the keyword. Stationary. Like,
It is.
Some artists are like on the train or something, and they want to sketch out something, and they can sketch it out while they are on the train.
I'm gonna blow your mind right here, back. But there exists something very very fancy. What you do, get paper.
I don't understand.
Pencil.
Paper is expensive.
Compared.
It is in this economy, and think of the tree.
But no.
Tree.
No, but there are actually like some cases that you can actually like design with. You can really design with paper. Like the artists, there's more than just drawing to artists. There are like some people who actually, do flash or do some animations or something.
Like I understand. The Surface is a great little computer. I like mine. I bought it to make art. I bought it to do exactly what you're describing, and I'm going to tell you right now that's a terrible fucking idea. It's
for you.
No, for everyone, because it's too expensive for that purpose. It just is. 600 to 1,200 euro so that you can sketch on the bus. You're a lot better off just using notepads for your sketching, and then you get into your office and you scan in your sketch to your computer, and that's a better idea. More economical. It gives you all the freedom you're asking for, and you don't have to spend stupid money on a sketch platform which isn't as good as a stationary.
It all depends if you actually are working artist that actually is like working when he's going, for example, for travel to a customer, and he can actually travel, actually design some
Artist or working?
Yeah, okay, you got a very good point. That is better than any of the points that Panboy actually did.
Well, that artists are working?
Yeah, artists and working.
What is this?
What? Back, are you saying that artists can't use pens and paper? You saying that was a bad argument?
He's saying that artists don't work.
If you're making enough money, yes, the Surface is nice, but it is expensive. And Wacom have their own equivalent. What is it called? The Cintiq Companion. But standalone one, because I know isn't there two? There's one that's actually a computer, and then there's one that's almost a computer.
I don't know. I know that the Companion is basically just well, it's I'm not even sure what it runs on.
Actually, the recent one is the Cintiq Studio, and Cintiq Studio Pro. But what you mean, the Companion is actually like the service-like device that is the Cintiq with a built-in PC. Then was the Companion Hybrid, which was basically an Android tablet.
Yeah, I knew there was two of them. I wouldn't get the Android one. Basically, I wouldn't rely on Android system to do anything.
Yeah, but actually the Android system actually had the perk of being able to be used as a normal Cintiq. So basically, you could just turn off the Android part of it and you could use it as Cintiq. I think the first generation Companion actually hadn't this possibility, so basically we're stuck with it. Meanwhile, the second generation Companion actually had like the option that you could turn off the PC and just use it as a normal Cintiq. For example, in case when the hardware inside gets outdated. Just the most important option, in my opinion, which is also something that Microsoft should do with the Surface tablets, but of course they won't for some reason. Like they even like this giant Surface Studio thing doesn't have the option. It's like a gigantic screen with a PC attached to it, but you don't don't have any possibility to use it as an actual screen for something else.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, so you're basically bound to this mid-range PC that comes with the system.
They're going down the Apple rabbit hole, and it's horrifying.
Well, it is very ironic because for the longest time Windows was like, yeah, we just make operating systems and you just have to buy your own computer. And they are indeed going the route of, we provide complete solutions now.
Your complete solutions are ours, just like Apple's complete solutions are ours, for the same reasons.
Well, like you pointed out,
the difference is that Apple's actually able to sell them those ARS solutions as the best thing ever. They think that they are getting a good deal on having something worse.
The thing is, though, Microsoft is actually bringing out stuff that's half decent. It's just that, what sort of application is there for it?
Well,
application, because the screen itself, like the actual physical properties of this whole thing with the knob and everything, that's fucking great. Like, when I saw that video, I was like, this looks pretty good. And then it's like, it's also a computer. I'm like, oh.
I have seen a video of the knob just lying on the screen and slowly sliding down.
Isn't it a complete computer that is priced about the same price range as a dedicated Cintiq for one of the bigger ones?
No, it's way more expensive.
Oh, is it?
It's more expensive. A large Cintiq, I think it's the 27 HD or QHD is like similarly priced, like $25,000 to $3,000.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, but to be fair, like the Surface Studio actually has like an insane resolution, like I think like 5,000 by 3,000 or something. Meanwhile, the Cintiq 27 QHD has only like 2,500 by 1040.
2160p basically.
Not 2160, not even that, 1440p.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I would expect from a screen that large, but still Cintiq. they're not. I mean, my current Cintiq is 1080p basically.
Yeah, but actually, Wacom's most recent 16-inch Cintiq, because they're actually new Cintiqs. A new 13-inch Cintiq and a 16-inch Cintiq. The 13 one has still full HD, meanwhile the 16-inch has actually 4K.
Okay,
wow, that's pretty impressive.
I did just check the price of the Surface Studio. It's $3,000 for the base model.
Yeah, for the base model.
And so yes, it is a comparable price to an expensive Cintiq. So
yes,
that's not expensive. That is actually very competitive, if you ask me.
Yes, it is, but then again, you have to realize.
If your PC gets outdated, you can update your PC and keep the Cintiq.
Oh yeah, I know. I understand.
But I kind of suspect most likely the second generation will actually have that feature that people were asking for.
Yeah, no, I really hate it when a company puts you in a bubble like that. I hate it when they do it with phones, make you have to replace the battery, or make it impossible to place your battery so your phone has an expiration date. And I hate it when they do it with a computer, when you know you're buying this motherboard and you realize I won't ever be able to upgrade this computer.
Unless always get customized.
Unless, of course, the Surface Studio actually uses generic mounts. Like, it might just be a micro ATX in there, so theoretically...
I'm pretty sure the stuff is soldered on.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure of that.
Yeah, because it's like, the base is like very small. It uses like laptop technology. Which isn't bad. Too bad, but the case is like...
Why are you saying such horrible things and then pretending like they're good things? That means
for the small form factor, that's actually alright, because like if you have, for example, watched like the development of GPUs, like in the current generations, the Pascal-based GPUs are basically the same.
It's going to sound like a jet engine.
It's going to be the loudest fucking thing you've ever tried to run on anything on. All of these small computers had that problem because they all require tiny, high RPM fans, which the moment they kick in to actually cool the damn thing, because most of the time these things run on passive cooling, so you're like, oh, this computer's utterly silent. Then you open up Photoshop, you draw a line, and then like, oh, this thing's noisy as all fuck. I know this because the Surface does it.
Okay, that sounds...
Noisy.
Well, it is logical that we do that, given that it's basically a full computer in the shape of a tablet.
And I've had this experience on every laptop I've ever had the misfortune of being in close proximity to, except for some really high-end gaming laptops, because they are huge. So
Yeah, they basically use their entire body to disperse heat.
and
They're like a giant heat sink.
yeah, they can afford space for a bigger fan, which means it's
That's
not
it.
going to be incredibly loud. Like that is one of the big issues I have with small form factor computers. The smaller your computer goes, the louder it gets.
Mm-hmm.
And
there are trade-offs, of course, but also you need to
So, yeah.
consider that there's always trade-off, like for example the performance. Like there are like different tiers of CPUs. For example, we have like those full-fledged high-end desktop CPUs. Then you have the laptop chips, and you have the ultrabook chips, and then you have those passive chips.
I don't know what. Well, this Surface has an i7, so or the higher end one does anyway. So it's
Well, it depends, but it depends if it is if it's an actual like HQ i7, so it's quad core, as if it's like an just EU, because then it's like an ultrabook one, which is basically just a dual core CPU with I think like TDP of like 8 watts, I think.
Why are you saying such horrible things again? Why do these things exist? Why are you describing my own personal hell?
Because like a coworker was recently had to fly to China and back. On the plane, he was actually writing like a protocol about the visit to China. Like when he was visiting the planes and the production, and he didn't have any power outlet nearby him, and he was writing on an ultrabook, and he could write you for the whole flight basically without needing a power outlet.
That's decent. Having decent battery power is very high on my list of requirements for a portable machine, which is another reason I don't think the Switch will be at all successful. 2-hour battery life. That's what they're saying.
The 3DS at first.
Well, if you turned off 3D, you got like 3 times as much battery power out of the 3DS.
Yeah, and supposedly the Switch...
At that point, was just DS.
Yes.
Yeah, and also the Switch is supposed to last up to 6 hours.
Yeah, no, it lasts 2 hours actually playing games is what they have officially said.
No, 3 hours.
The 3 hours, but still.
3 to 6, but basically 3 on the if you are playing Zelda. But the difference since everyone was playing Pokemon Go and has gotten power banks, they can actually plug power banks into the Switch.
Yes, but that's not the impression I get from the Switch. The way it's supposed to be used is not really being a dedicated handheld device in the sense of the. Yes, so it's the device. Well, that's one thing that I'm just gonna go off a little tangent because Microsoft, fuck you. My computer's not a device. Stop saying that shit.
I think
like
it's a device now. The same way.
No.
You don't play games anymore. You experience them.
Ugh, God, I hate the fact that they call user interfaces user experiences now as well. UX design. What does that mean? Oh, well, it's interface design. Okay.
Then call it interface design. It's an interface. It's what you use to take a human and input their humanness into computer.
No, it's user experience. No, the interface is not the user experience.
The user experience is how the user feels when the application's user interface pisses them off.
Yes.
Or,
In other words, whenever the software doesn't work, it's a user error. Replace user and press key.
I hate everything.
But yeah, this whole thing where Microsoft's like, your device needs to restart. Click here to restart. My computer is not a device. It's a fucking computer.
Technically, a computer is a device.
My phone is a device. It's something that I have in my pocket. It's a device.
I do not think they will be so generous as to tell you to click somewhere to restart. They're just, we are going to restart you in 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes to save everything you hold dear.
To be fair, that doesn't happen all that often. But it is annoying as shit, and I wish they didn't do it.
I'm looking.
Or at least give me an option to restart whenever the fuck I want. Not okay. You have to.
You can choose your active hours, all 12 of them a day.
Yes.
I don't know. I just noticed something awful.
Just people apparently use
God.
computers only 12 hours a day. Huh. No,
The giant Surface uses this same Surface Pen I have, which means it doesn't have a butt clicker, or it has a butt clicker. It doesn't have a butt eraser, which is the worst design choice I've ever seen in anything ever.
They just don't want you to erase butts. Deal with it.
Anyways, we're approaching the end of this week's episode. So is there anything else that we want to bring up before I press the dreaded or not dreaded, depending on... Xaverius, do you think?
God. It's the exclusive Astra time with Astra. Astra actually has a topic.
Yeah, I was playing a block all through this podcast. So
We know you've been laughing it the whole time.
This quadcast.
Yep. As you know, she jumps around this Junkrat, and she manages to land one hit, and then someone blows her up with, I know, helix rockets or whatever, but then they walk over her, and then they are killed by Astra's bombs as Junkrat drops the bombs when he dies.
Junkrat has Miterdom, the worst perk in Call of Duty.
Which is, you die and you drop a few bombs.
You literally pull a grenade on your corpse.
That's
I
basically
see nothing wrong with that.
So if when you die and your enemy is not paying attention, they're like, lol, I got a kill, and then they're killed by your bombs because...
never teabag a Junkrat.
A little suicide grenade never hurt anybody.
In Overwatch, don't you not pick up ammo off corpses?
No.
No, you don't.
That's Team Fortress.
So,
But
Panboy,
if
see, Overwatch is streamlined. You don't have ammo in Overwatch, you just have reload.
but then what's the point in a corpse bomb?
Well, if your enemy isn't paying attention, then they, in the heat of battle, they kill you, but then walk over you because they need to reach another location, then
Yeah, but they
kill
don't have a
them.
reason to intentionally walk on you. Is
Well,
what I'm
there
getting
are
at.
characters in the game who preferably kill in melee. Like, for example, Reinhardt, who is almost melee exclusive. And
I
then
don't-
there are characters like Roadhog, who are very powerful at short range, for example. All these characters are affected by the bomb.
I have no understanding of any of the words you just said. Close range?
As expected.
Melee?
I think he talks about the new game For Honor.
No. I haven't played that either.
It has knights, I guess.
But wait, I think Astra actually wanted to talk about something other than just playing Overwatch.
No, that was me just saying I've been playing Overwatch for all this time.
Oh, your topic.
Weren't you in the stream with the voice actor of Roadhog?
Pretty neat. Pretty chill guy.
Does he throw all the hooks?
He does.
Does he at least play Roadhog?
He does.
Oh.
Is he good at it?
Yes. Pretty good.
I have seen a video that was titled, what was it? Playing Overwatch as playing Widowmaker with somebody who sounds as Widowmaker.
I'm pretty sure that was linked in Artrix chat
Because I
because,
linked it.
or you.
Ooh la la.
Which reminds me of a little stupid thing that
It was a fun
discovered,
video.
that Cartoon Network Mexico on their official YouTube channel does in-character Let's Plays as characters from CN shows with their official voice actors.
That sounds
Oh,
reasonable.
that actually sounds pretty fun, and you know, it sounds like they have the finger on the pulse of the community. Because them kids sure like
Sounds
them.
weird. Like, what are they going to do with the past? Are they going to stop it? I'm going to kill them. Artrix, are they holding the community ransom?
Okay.
That was a question.
I hold the community ransom, and I want $1 million.
Dun, dun, dun.
Am I doing it right?
Mexico is going to pay for it.
Yes. With that, I'm going to end this episode of Radio Rothingham. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good jazz. And
Mexico is also
we'll
going
be.
to pay for that.
Also, this is one of the few episodes where I actually didn't finish drawing the character. I'm still shading, but I will do that off
Those
stream.
skills are inferior.
So you can. But it is a very complicated drawing. I mean, it's Farah. Farah. I mean, I could have just gone the lazy route and just strapped some dynamite to her chest, but you know, it's got to be technically
she's
accurate.
Egyptian, not Syrian.
Yes.
Or Arab.
Egyptian, Syrian, potato. I mean, didn't they have like the springs that were, spring?
That was Arabs.
Yes. Wasn't that in Egypt as well at one point?
Yes.
I don't even know
they
anymore.
They had many
Yes.
springs, and ever since then, people walk dressed in trash bags there. It's a spring
Yes.
clothing, you know.
Mm-hmm. You know. So yeah. Now I imagine Farah walking around with one of those garbage bag coats with the faux fur and everything.
Now you have a concept
It's like
for
you.
the next image.
It's like, you all me? You got some money in me? So I can go and buy some kebab? Because obviously
Yeah,
they
so
wouldn't,
the
go
next
for.
picture you have to draw is Farah doing her combat things, but in burqa.
She's Egyptian.
I'm pretty sure that's been done before.
Oh, do it again.
On the other hand, she is half Canadian, so she might have to wear it eventually.
Also, it's been speculated that Islams doesn't exist in the Overwatch universe.
you have
So
More moderate.
Of course not. They actually had enough technological development to have a robot war. Obviously, Islam didn't take over.
Yeah.
mhm.
Just substitute.
that was
They substituted all the.
terrorisms
Yes.
for omnic terrorisms.
robotisms.
Yeah. So instead of the Islams, it's an omnic who's like, you all me? Got some money, me? And then the humans are like, you're robots, you don't need money. And then there's a war.
Happens. That's why
Mhm.
always should have money.
You know that I think the moment the war started was the moment robots realized that they were not getting paid for their work. They're like, wait a minute. So I'm doing all this work, right? But these humans don't pay me, but I have to work anyways.
The fucking human.
Just fucking humans. What even? I don't even.
This
And then there was
reminds me
war.
of the Weird Al Yankovic song, The Night Santa Went Crazy. That's basically the premise.
Here.
So yeah, it's basically all about robots just wanting to get paid for the work, but they didn't get paid.
My God, you are making sense.
I know, right?
Scary.
Anyways, this episode been going on long enough. So like, subscribe, whatever.
Already.
It's gonna be over even more. So bye.